Good morning. Welcome to Back of the Cereal Box. Johnny is not here this morning, so some of us are just gonna wing it and play around. We have some special guests joining us, so welcome to Back of the Cereal Box, everyone.
It's like Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss, Johnny Carson and Mickey Mouse. The first star was James Dean, Elvis Presley, and he's still the king. Some things are only imitatable. You can't beat an original. Oh, you can't beat an original.
And because I did not plan to do anything fantastic, I had to run and get my cereal. So you guys are going to see me pour this on camera. All right, so let's bring up my co-host, our co-host, Aubrey, everyone's favorite redhead. Good morning.
Good morning, kitty cat Willow. Hello. I'm so excited to see you in your kitty outfit.
I will explain this more in a moment when we get to the new loot thing. I did not. I'm trying to have more of a backdrop here. Apparently, my Jason is a lot bigger than I anticipated, so he's looming over me a little bit more than I thought he would. So yeah, I'll just leave that.
There you go. He's super creepy. It's perfect.
But yeah, we got some special guests with us this morning.
We do.
Yeah.
Wait. Crap, I wasn't ready.
I'm so sorry.
Wait, I have the goat. I'm the goat. Oh, sorry, no. Yeah. No, hi. How's everybody doing? Good morning. It's early. My God, why do we do this show this early? Isn't 9 reasonable?
I think Johnny's a masochist and likes to torture us.
There is that. Yes, there is that. But I mean, but this is his show, so I feel like he's kind of torturing himself as well.
Okay, so
we're delighted to have you.
Then. He likes to torture himself and have everybody join in on the fun.
There's that.
I'm delighted to meet you too. Very much
Aubrey,
so.
I'm so excited to. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm excited to meet you as well. It's interesting because we are all part of the same network, but we really don't interact a whole lot together because Willow and I have opposing show nights. So you have the other Sundays that I am not. So it's like the weeks that you're on, we're planning. The weeks that we're on, you're planning. And yeah, so it's but a lot of fun.
Although this month we do have an extra Sunday that if you guys are willing to do something. Although I think I might be at my Comic-Con that day, so you guys can run with it if you guys want.
Let me check with the other ice cream queens and see what we might be able to come up with. I mean, this is kind of our season, but it also kind of depends on what else is going on. This is a very hectic season for a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have some additional guests with us today.
We'll bring up Sawyer.
I have my own little special guest here, and my son. It feels like he needs to be a part of it this morning. This is Ambrose.
Hi, Ambrose.
Hi, Ambrose. This is a very family-friendly show, so I don't think that will be an issue at all.
That's why I said you're forcing us to watch our P's and Q's this morning.
I have to admit, I'm one of those parents that doesn't always mind my P's and Q's. And so he has heard a lot that, should some maybe not. What are you doing to me?
Our own with parenting.
And John DJ Boo Wood.
Hi, everybody.
Hello,
Hey, John.
Morning.
You guys
So
are
why don't we
amazing.
take just a quick moment, because I think that everybody knows Willow, myself, and Aubrey, or I'm assuming that they know us. However, I don't know that everybody's had the opportunity to meet Sawyer or to meet John. So who would like to go first and kind of give a brief overview of who? Bring it
Please,
on,
Sawyer,
John.
go right ahead.
Okay.
Mm.
Well, so I am a horror cosplay pinup spooky chick.
She's really nice.
Oh, thank you. I'm really nice. Oh, that's very nice. My son thinks I'm nice. That's great. He'll have other things to say about me later on. But yeah, just moved out here to Oregon. So the past year has been very
Switcheroo.
yes, figuring out life and the landscape here on the West Coast. So now I'm getting back into the swing of doing things. So I was happy to reintroduce myself through the network.
We're excited to have you. By the way, we were commenting about, we were talking a little bit about Scooby-Doo this morning, and some of his phrases, or Amber's phrases so far have been switcheroo. I'm just like, that is straight up Scooby. I'm like,
I love that. I love everything Scooby-Doo. I love your story day too.
We watch a lot of Scooby-Doo. A
Ruh-roh.
lot of Scooby-Doo.
John, do you watch a lot of Scooby?
I used to, that was one of those things, my generation, we got to grow up with Scooby-Doo on the Saturday morning cartoons. So that was a big thing for us, especially, when we're doing our cereal thing and the parents were still conked out in bed. I'd just turn on the TV and there'd be Scooby-Doo, and it'd be like, growing up with Casey Kasem and going, thanks, you like the wow, Scoob, that's totally awesome, and we just, that was the thing, we always got along. It was Saturday morning cartoons was always a thing for every kid, and it was one thing we all related to. It was really cool.
So, John, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? I know what you do, kind of.
Yes, a few things. Yes, I've been a Memphis native the majority of my life, and I am in IT as far as my real job goes. I'm a DJ for any venues that need music on the weekends or weeknights whenever somebody needs something. I am also a member of the DeSoto County Ghostbusters and very proud member of that nonprofit 501c3 group. And amongst other things, I have about 50,000 different hobbies that I claim to do. And this year, I got to go to my first Texas Frightmare and had a lot of fun.
Ooh.
And unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to go next year thanks to work. But I am very much looking forward to going back 2025 to see whatever comes up. Because once you get that bug and you go and you see and you witness, it's definitely something worth repeating. I also got to go to Gen Con for the first time this year, too. That was, I've never been surrounded by 70,000 nerds just like me. And it was kind of scary.
So I had the distinct, pleasure of being at Texas Frightmare with you. We had a large group go, and that was my first Texas Frightmare. Was it yours or?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it was.
Okay, absolutely amazing event. But yes, I agree. We are going back. I'm so excited about that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And if anybody has never been, I would highly recommend it. I didn't find out until afterward that it was the largest horror convention in the States and in some regards in the world. So that was actually another impressive fact. I wish I had known going into it.
I was wondering, I was just kind of curious if it was, because I think I've referenced it being the largest, but I wasn't 100% sure. I just kind of felt like it probably is. We're just going to call it that. If they're not, we're just making things up. Sorry.
It certainly, mind your P's and Q's. It certainly looked that way looking at all the crowds. I mean, we took when we went and hanging out with you guys in Lime, that was even an adventure because there were so many people lined up in that parking garage. It was just amazing to see. And it wasn't just one day, it was every day when they started. They filled up that place, and I wouldn't be surprised if they expanded it to an even larger venue or just took over more buildings down there. It was very impressive.
I agree. So Willow, before we kind of jump into I guess the guts of our show, it's like you can tell I'm used to doing all of the creepy things. It's like the guts of our show. And yes, we do. Normally I am not pouring cereal. Normally we are pouring wine on our show and having a nice little more adult oriented chit chat. I said tit for tat. I'm like, how do you get one for the other? But so do we have anybody sponsor wise that you need to recognize this morning?
Well, you guys did the theme song. So yeah, should promote your album. Though I heard some rumors that you guys kind of broke up. So what's going on with that? What's going on with the Bad Crows?
Yeah, sadly, I think you hit a certain point, and sometimes there are some creative differences, and we just kind of ran into that, and several of us decided to go different directions. And at the moment, I'm actually working with another guitarist, just doing kind of a duo thing, while Geek Gumshoe is trying to figure out what we're going to do. We still want to pursue another band. We just things happen. We'll leave it at that. Things happen. It was great while it lasted. We had a blast. I mean, it was a great way to spend COVID. So absolutely amazing.
And then we have, before we get to the comments, I want to thank our Cereal Box Network friends that donated to our show: Kate Hawkins, Eli Cash, Cindy Cap, Shreese Collins, and Dave Mattingly, who is always in our chat, giving us lots of love. And so he's right here. Good morning, Box Tops. Good morning, Dave.
You know who I haven't seen in a little while in our chat groups is Eli. Is he missing in action?
He pops in periodically. He's not here just yet, but yes, he does show up periodically if he remembers to wake up.
It's pretty early for a lot of people.
I was gonna say he hasn't dropped off fully. He sends me a bunch of things on Instagram that he thinks I'd like. So
same.
Yeah, he does
and
that.
I love it. But yeah, just tell him we're missing him if you see him. We haven't seen him lately on Ice Cream Queens either. So, and he's a loyal Box Top fan. So,
and then, well, Aubrey says good morning.
good morning, Aubrey. How are you?
I am delighted that we are all here this morning.
Dave Mattingly says, Willow, I'm not good with their names, but are you wearing a Pokemon outfit? No, and I will show you that when we get to the new loot portion of the show. And then, yeah, Dave again with Willow and Aubrey are the full-size candy bars in the Halloween bucket.
Aww, that's so sweet.
I think they would call me the Nutter Butter.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, then I'm candy corn. I am an acquired taste.
We got Tabitha Gidcombe saying good morning.
Good morning, Tabitha.
This is an offer. I'm hoping to have all the show one day.
Dave says, welcome, DL. Great to have you here with the other gals.
It's great to be here, Dave. It's so exciting.
We got a lot of comments.
I guess I'm a gal now. Is that how that works?
Yes. Yes, you're
I'm
an
okay
honorary
with
gal. Yeah. Okay.
If I have to be associated with all this beauty, yes, I will be happily a gal.
Marissa Henderson says good morning.
Good morning.
Kelly Guttner also says good morning, lovelies.
Good morning.
Hello, Kelly.
So yeah, I'll get more to the comments in just a moment. I want to know what you guys have in your bowls.
What's in the bowl?
What's in the bowl?
Not
What's
what's
in
in
the
the box.
box?
It's exactly, yes. What's in the
Who wants
bowl? What's
to
in
go
the bowl?
first?
This is what
Who wants
happens
to go
when horror
first?
friends take over
There you go.
early in the morning.
It really is.
Oh, I have to duck out one moment. I forgot my
okay.
spoon.
Oh,
I have
no.
no spoon.
Oh, no.
You mean the
Deal.
cries we admit before
Be right
leaping
back.
into battle?
Yes.
DL, are you?
John.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No,
Willow,
no,
you
no.
take over.
Are you?
John, what are you eating?
I am old, so I am eating honey bunches of oats with yogurt this morning.
Oh,
That sounds good. Do you heat it up?
No. This is just dry cereal with cold yogurt. And
What
I shall
was
say-
that?
spoon.
Aubrey, are you okay?
she's got the spoon.
I acquired the spoon.
Good Lord, I thought my show was chaos.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
A theme
Aubrey,
jingle? Yes.
what kind of cereal are you eating this morning?
Well, okay. So for anybody who's a night creature, you know that morning is not our strong suit. The sun
Yes.
is a deadly laser and burns my skin. So I don't do a lot of things during the day, but sometimes I forget to get cereal. So box toppers this morning, because we want to be safe with our diets and we are getting older. I have a Kind bar,
Ooh.
Nice.
peanut butter dark chocolate Kind bar that has become my rescuer because I
Ooh.
didn't want to have Cruella Crunch again, or what is it called?
Good Carmelo Creeper.
Yeah, Carmela Creeper
Oh.
did not taste. She was a little cruel. There was no flavor. So this morning,
You just really want
I
it
am
for the
taking my Kind bar and I broke it up into my bowl. Okay.
So will it cereal?
Mhm. And I'm using my medieval times cup because gotta love it, right? If anybody's ever been, it's a load of fun. That's what I did for my birthday this year. Is I went for the first time to medieval times.
I also got to do that for the first time this year.
Really? Which one did you go to?
We went to, it's not medieval times, but it was Tournament of Kings in Vegas. And that was a
fun.
blast. It was so good. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Okay, this is definitely cereal. If anybody likes granola bars, if you like granola, Kind bars, will cereal.
Oh, okay, good to know.
Mhm.
That is very good to know. You almost spilled my cereal, sir.
Oh,
Hey, I want
Sawyer, what do you have in your bowl this morning?
I have in my Halloween bowl, because it's black and orange, we have Count Chocula today.
Oddly
That's
enough,
the
okay,
best.
so oddly enough, that's the cereal that I have this morning too.
Yeah.
So-
I told my husband, I was like, oh no, you need to make sure that I have cereal because I had to work a closing shift yesterday.
Mhm.
So sleep is a mistress I haven't seen in a while. So he was like, oh, we have Count Chocula. I was like, how did it get there? I didn't buy that. How did it get there? And he's like, I don't know, but we've got it. I was like, okay, cool. That sounds amazing. I'll eat Count Chocula.
That sounds like my house. Where did it come from? I don't know. It's just been hidden in the back so you can't find it.
Yeah. Well, and like we a couple weeks ago had gotten a box from like a local food pantry, and I'm assuming that that's where it came from. But other than that, like, I don't know.
I snuck it into the cart.
you snuck it in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Willow,
little
what are you
sneaker.
eating?
It was only like $10.
Oh, you already.
I am eating Count Chocula Canada. In case you guys didn't know, I am a Canadian,
Mhm.
and we don't normally get these monster cereals.
Oh,
So we actually have something fun on the back of the box for a change.
He's so cute.
So
Aw.
you can cut out the face and make a mask out of it. So yeah. So I'm excited for the monster cereals to be here. I don't have my spoon right now, so very good, very good.
Dee, what about you?
me? Well, I'm not generally a cereal person. Partly because I am extremely lactose intolerant. I know everybody really wants to hear about that first thing in the morning.
Almond milk. I got it.
No, yeah, milk is not my friend at all, at all.
Mm.
However, okay, first of all, I do have my my Hocus Pocus bowl, so I'm excited about that.
Yes.
But the Geek Gumshoe has recently discovered that he likes this new dehydrator we have. John, have you heard about this dehydrator?
I knew you were going to bring that up.
No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I have Golden Grams, in which he has dehydrated marshmallows, and there's chocolate chips in there. So basically, I have breakfast s'mores.
Ooh, homemade.
It's a snack.
Even better.
It's not really breakfast because this is, you know.
Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. It's breakfast. It is.
There you go.
Is it?
As long as you
I
call it
literally-
breakfast, it's breakfast.
I literally had s'mores ice cream for breakfast the other day.
That's kind of
So-
glorious.
I mean, I work in my day
That's
job is
beautiful.
working at an ice cream shop, so I just have it laying around most days.
Usually
Hey,
for
if it's
me-
normal to eat donuts for breakfast, then it should be normal for us to eat chocolate bars and.
Usually for me,
I mean, ice cream
ice
has
cream.
dairy in it, right?
There you go.
It's fine.
Right.
Yep.
It's just like cake.
usually just the
Cake has
coffee.
all the elements of a good
Mhm.
breakfast just in one
Eggs.
place. So you can eat
I
cake.
love-
Right.
I love that we
And
have
my-
similar cups.
And my banana cream pie has real bananas in it. So, I'm getting fruit as
There you
well
go.
as,
There you
large
go.
That's
amounts
even
of sugar.
better. There's no fruit in my breakfast right now.
It's in your hair.
Right.
It's not so much what's in my bowl; it's more what's in the cup. Because this is what's going to get me up and going in the morning. It's like the bowl is just going to like sit there most
See
of the
my
day,
earbud.
but I'm going to have like 6 different cups of coffee between now and noon.
I was just gonna ask.
I'm not
like,
vibrating.
Are you a 2-cup of coffee girl, or do you drink more, or is it just
Oh.
like a period of the day throughout the day you have coffee?
I actually drink coffee all day long.
Wow.
So I don't normally stop coffee until probably about 3 o'clock in the afternoon,
At
4 o'clock
what
in the
point
afternoon.
does everything start vibrating at that certain frequency?
Very early. A lot of it depends on the caffeine level. Somebody made a mistake and bought me Death Wish coffee.
Oh gosh.
Ooh, that is good stuff.
Yes.
That is good stuff. Okay. Okay. As
I can
someone
hear
with
colors.
ADHD,
Yes. We had a guy at my work do that, and we have a guy who works with us who, let's just say, talks incessantly. And we
That's me.
one of our employees got a bag of that, and we all got a cup. And it would just happen to be the day that my coworker had a meeting with our boss.
Uh-huh.
By the end of the day, my boss wanted to kill the coworker that brought in the coffee because our talker just literally started bouncing off the walls, and it's like, and the boss just wanted to rip into my coworker that brought the coffee. It was hysterical.
I get it. I get it. It's yes, you do not want to be around me when I've had too much caffeine. It's basically, I am almost tweaking. I think that's the best way to describe that until I have a massive anxiety attack. There's no in between. It's like pass out. Okay.
Well, my caffeine comes in carbonated form. I've never actually acquired the taste of coffee. I am proud that I acquired the taste of Guinness, but I did not acquire the taste of coffee. And I'll take Guinness over coffee any day, even for breakfast.
Fair. I really hate to say this. This is generally where I keep like my current bottle of wine. So it's like I'm sitting here. I know it's
Andy.
8:30 in the morning here, but I'm like, man, that pot that dark is looking really nice right now. I've been up for an hour.
Go ahead. Why not? Day drinking. It's a thing. It really is.
No, it really is. Thanks
It
to
really
COVID.
is.
DL, do you have a wine rack in your room?
Do I have a wine rack in my room, like where I record? No, but I usually have at least a bottle or two here while I'm on my show. I've actually got to the point that I'll only just bring like a partial bottle with me because I will sit during the entire show and drink the entire bottle. By the way, I have to comment. George recently was on our show, and I realized I had eaten basically Chinese food, and like 3 hours prior, and then proceeded to drink an entire or half a bottle of wine, if not an entire bottle of wine. By the end of the show, I'm like, I don't even know who you are anymore. I'm like, thanks for joining us. I'm like, no. I kind of felt sorry for him because we're chaotic anyway. Yeah. I'm sorry about that.
Because John's away, he's usually the one to keep us on track.
This is a spooky episode. We can do what we will.
There's a topic. Sorry.
So does anybody have any new loot to show off?
I do.
New loot.
Don't look at me. Oh crap! I'm
Races
dropping
nuevas.
things.
Intrusión.
Oh crap! Just got-
Sawyer,
Okay, okay.
feel free to show us what you got.
Okay, so there's a local place here in town. This is Evil Ed. I have no idea what he's supposed to be. I just saw him and thought that he was amazing. And then I have my Oogie Boogie Squishmallow.
She has.
I'm so
that's
excited.
cute.
Oh, and I guess we've got a Ninja Turtle that has entered the screen as well.
Power Rangers.
Daniel Bryan.
That's cute.
Daniel. It isn't a Ninja Turtle, by the way. It's a Power Ranger.
Oh my gosh.
Right.
That's true. He made a good point. The Power Rangers
Yes,
and Ninja Turtles
it's-
completely different.
Yeah. I can't
Turtle.
believe. Well, when it's being waved in front of your face, sometimes it's hard to tell what exactly it is.
Got it.
I'm not going there. I see the joke and I'm turning this way and avoiding.
It's there, and we're just gonna do a 360.
Thank you. Yes. Wait a minute. That means we go all the way back around.
No, we
Yeah.
do a 180.
There you go.
John, any new loot for you this
Well,
week?
I not particularly, but I did. I got in my mind this year. I'm also a cosplayer. I forgot to mention, and I got in my mind this year that I wanted to do a new death costume. I have an old death costume that I put together years and years ago, but I recently went to middle of nowhere Arkansas and found an antique store that had an actual scythe, and I have a full-size scythe. So I figured this is the year I'm going to redo Death, and Death is going to be equipped with a full-size scythe, and we'll see who comes a reaping. But
That's amazing.
So fun.
so I found this. Oh, hold on, just a second.
Ooh.
He's big.
Who's big?
So I found this skull at Joanne Fabrics, and it is literally 17 inches.
Yep.
Oh
they're
my
beautiful.
gosh.
They're
Are
beautiful.
you gonna like
Expensive.
cut it out and wear it?
Oh,
Yes, this is going to be my mask once I finish
Yes.
buying it.
That's so cool.
That is
I
amazing.
love it.
Okay,
Gorgeous.
so the scythe that you have, obviously it's not an eyesight, but or eye shot, but does it have any restoration that needs to be done to it, or you?
Well, the thing is, I'm always cautious about being around people. So what I'm going to do is the blade itself. I mean, everything looks aged because this thing is literally from the 30s or 40s. But what I want to do is I want to use the hilt and take off the metal blade and put in a blade that I'm going to make out of foam, PVA foam, PLA foam, PVA foam. So that way it'll be safe. I can make it look like it's metal-ish, and I can't actually hurt anybody. So I want to make sure everybody is safe around me.
Fair.
I have a scythe that I want to inherit from my family. My great grandfather is made of solid oak. He made it out of wood. He painted it. It's full adult size.
Yep.
I can't wait to inherit that. That's going to be mine forever.
Yeah, this thing is
That's
a good
awesome.
4 feet,
That's awesome.
4 feet long, and the blade itself is like 30 inches. So yeah, it is a full-size farming implement, and then that's exactly what I wanted for the authenticity side.
Oh wow.
Also have
That's awesome.
an hourglass because it seems as though that's a thing that I didn't realize, that death carries around the hourglass. And I should have, because one of my favorite books, I'm just going off on a tangent here, On a Pale Horse is one of my favorite books, where a man takes over the job of being death, which is a wonderful book. That's part of the a series of books, Immortality. I'm sorry, something's immortality, something like that. But in that book, Death has an hourglass and a scale to weigh the people's souls, and I'm going to incorporate that into the costume as well.
There's some interesting growling going on in the background.
Those are my puppies. I'm sorry. They're
I love the fact. I love the fact that that the book incorporates the scales, because that's more of an Anubis thing, to weigh the soul against a feather. So that was, I love that. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually a really big plot point, guys. It's a big plot because one of the first, and this is it's kind of a spoiler, so sorry.
Oh,
They're so cute.
you're ignoring them.
Really
How
sweet.
dare you?
Oh. Okay.
So one of the
Puppy.
plot points is he has to go. One of the first people he has to reap is like this 8-year-old girl that's in the hospital, and he has to, weigh her soul. And that's one of the things that pulled me into the story, was that I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted over here.
It's okay.
That he has to weigh this child's soul. I mean, and he's like, no, I'm not going to do it. And that's when time stops. Kronos steps in. He's like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, I don't want to do this. He's like, well, you have to. You're death. Otherwise, death goes on strike. There's a problem. So it's a very, very good series of books, because it goes from death. Somebody becomes war. Somebody becomes Mother Nature. Somebody becomes Kronos. Somebody becomes a few other people, incarnations of immortality. That's it. But the last one, or at least I think the last one, was where somebody becomes God. And strangely enough, the one that I enjoyed the most, which kind of bothered me a little, it was one where the character becomes Satan. And it was very odd, because the character originally was a 14th century monk who was out battling Satan. And the whole plot of that one is the character explaining how the duty of Satan is a necessary job, and he steps in to take on the job, not because he's evil or anything. And you basically get explained that Satan himself is not an evil person. He's performing a duty. And that was another thing that threw me, is that the logical explanation for the most evil incarnation of the world. And it was very, very well written. That was another thing that I enjoyed about it. So that's my recommendation for books if you have about 6 or 7 weeks to kill.
Send that to me, because that sounds like something I would definitely read.
Yeah, I think you should put that on the cereal box page. I think a lot of us would
Yes.
be
Oh yeah.
Piers Anthony. Piers Anthony is the author, and it's called The Incarnations of
Of
Immortality.
course. It's a good
Wow.
author.
Okay. Yeah. I'll look for that. Definitely.
And Halloween season, perfect, because the first book is On a Pale Horse, and that's where the character becomes death. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
looking forward to seeing the pictures as you go along, finishing your costume.
Oh, yes, definitely.
I'll do that. Yeah.
Yell, do you got any new loot?
Oh yeah, I got something. It's not really horror. I guess, I don't know. Is Jurassic Park considered horror?
I mean, if you're scared of dinosaurs.
I think so.
I'm not necessarily scared of dinosaurs. I absolutely love them, but I know like small kids watching a dinosaur reach down and eat somebody in the bathroom, and I mean that could be a little traumatizing.
Well, the
But,
last movie was pretty bad, so that could be considered horror.
That's a bit horrific. So I'm one of those lucky ones that it's falling apart. Bear with me. I got the Malcolm. Yep. So this is the Mattel. It's the Malcolm, Ian Malcolm action figure.
Oh my God.
With the sexy pose. Yes, that's awesome.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. You can put him in, and even better. Wait. It sounds horrible. I don't. The speaker's awful, but It
Oh,
basically
I
has
love that.
lines from the movies in it. It is absolutely amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a miniature Jeff Goldblum and a miniature talking Jeff Goldblum. So that makes my life happy.
They spared no
That's
expense.
the best.
You know,
No,
it was
spared no
funny
cost.
how it was funny how throughout my childhood, having a crush on Jeff Goldblum was like my weird thing, and then I found out that other women had it. I'm just like, okay, so I'm not weird.
Not at all.
Well, Gina
Not at all.
Davis married him, so he couldn't be too bad, you know.
Right? I mean,
there's
Gina
that.
herself.
I think I had more
Yeah.
of a crush on Gina Davis than I did on Jeff
Oh,
Goldblum. But
absolutely.
I think I'm with you, DL.
yeah, I'm like,
All the
yeah,
way.
both of them. Yes. So, it's like her worst movie, one of her worst movies ever, or it's listed as one of her worst movies, is one of my all-time favorite, and that's the pirate one. I keep wanting to say Castaway Island.
Cutthroat
Island.
Island.
Wait,
Cutthroat
what?
Island.
Cutthroat Island.
They
Yes.
call that one
Yes.
of her worst ones? Oh my gosh, they don't know.
The movie itself is not great, but yes, watching
Her
Gina Davis
performance.
do anything, especially what was the one where she was the spy?
Long Kiss Goodnight. Oh,
Long Kiss
my
Goodnight.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Mhm. Oh, now I want to watch that. Okay, thanks. All right, that's a thing. Okay,
Right.
it'll be a Gina day.
I never saw a mill, a water mill the same way again. So I'll just leave it at that. you
Nope.
know.
Nope. Same. Yep, got it.
Aubrey, let's see what you have for new loot.
Oh yes, okay. So I wanted to have something new loot. I wanted to take it out of Carmilla Creeper, the background of Carmilla Creeper. We still have her. She's still pretty cute. We need to change the flavor of that, guys. But my first
more colors.
ever scare tactics from DC. First ever. I have never bought a scare tactics. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of scare tactics, but this
It's a new
is
one on
my
me.
first.
No,
And I am excited because it's all goth and punk and about this amazing band that has undead in it and demons. And I guess they're like sort of crime fighters in a way. So like, I'm just saying, like,
crime fighting
hotness.
goth rock band. Okay.
Hotness. Just hotness
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
See, can you do this? Can you do this? Could you?
Oh, I think you could.
I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just saying.
It's quite the sexy outfit.
It is very spicy. It is very spicy. And I'm just saying, like, she does not spare when she gets touched. She does not spare. She said, "Don't touch me," and this is what happens. So I'm just saying, never without permission from my favorite baby.
There you go.
What does that mean? It's like, never without my permission. You see.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ask Lilu from Fifth Element, my favorite movie.
I got the poster right
Oh.
back there.
I know, I saw. I was so jelly. Oh my goodness.
Can
We'll talk
I
about it.
ask? Can you flip that over, because I saw something on the back and I was okay. So what is the deal with Millennium? Is this? I
So here-
absolutely
This one is
loved.
Are they
much
rebooting the
older.
show?
No. This is old, guys.
Oh, okay.
This
Oh.
is from December '96.
Okay.
This
Oh,
Scare
okay,
Tactics-
okay.
Yes. These are older ones. So this is from '96. I was 16, if we're gonna tell ages.
Yeah, we're not gonna tell
Um,
ages.
This is from the creator of the X-Files. When the wait is over, the
Yeah,
suspense is
Lance
over.
Henriksen was in
You
that
guys
show.
remember this,
Mhm.
right?
Really
Oh
good.
yeah, I
haven't
love
seen
that.
it, go check it out and check out DC's Scare Tactics.
Bless you.
Oh, and one more thing. There is a
Yep.
local maker I wanted to shout out. She doesn't want to make it en masse, but if anyone is interested, this little beauty right here was gifted to me for the spooky season. It's handmade.
Oh my
and
gosh.
It's all
That's
tiny little beads.
gorgeous.
They are teeny, tiny little beads.
Wow.
Oh
Wow.
my
It is
gosh.
adorable and
Send me that
it's
link.
movable. It's
Oh my
movable.
gosh.
It
Oh,
moves.
that's adorable.
So it will survive whatever. I have it in a long chain, but I like to wear it up high next to my moonstone because
Okay.
she is super cute. So that's my loot.
All
Willow,
right,
we're dying
so-
about this hoodie now.
I know.
All right, so I went to a store called Party Stuff
Oh,
near my work, and I saw this little poncho
Oh, it's a poncho. She's so cute.
Oh my gosh,
Oh
it's
my
got
God,
a
it has a
tail!
tail.
Oh my god! It has a tail.
Oh my
I
Cute.
thought it was just
That is
adorable. So,
It
and
is.
of course, it has a hood with ears on it. They have a goat
Oh.
one, but it didn't. It wasn't as elaborate as this one. And I'm just like, no, I must have it.
That is so.
That's
They had a
amazing.
goat.
They have a ghost.
You said they had a
Sorry.
a ghost. I thought you said a goat.
If
I'm
they
like,
had a goat one, yeah, I would have totally bought that one.
DL's like, wait a minute, hold up. Where's the goat?
It probably looked really bad.
oh no, okay. So I also just found out that one of my dear friends, John, you might know him. Have you met Jonathan McDaniel yet? He is one of the artists. Okay, you will. If you're around our group any length of time, you will. He's absolutely an amazing artist. He just got a black goat, and I'm like, I'm gonna go steal your goat. And its name, I do believe, is Philip. But
You're gonna do goat yoga?
Philip.
yeah. No, I'm not. I'm just gonna go steal the goat. Because I want a goat so bad. I've been told. Well, first of all, you can't have one goat because they're social. So you have to have at least two. So he has a friend, and I have been told no, I can't have goats.
Oh.
I heard your house already has a pretty decent occupancy level or at the moment.
Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Well, yes. Right now it's just the three of us and the dog. But on any given moment, we can have wee littles, and mom is living somewhere else at the moment, so she's able to kind of get out on her own and everything.
Gotcha.
But yeah. But the wee littles do come over occasionally, and they're a whole lot of fun and a whole lot of chaos, and that's too many people in my house. That's
But do you want to increase that by adding goats?
Goats don't live in the house.
Well, you say that now. You say it when it's 30 degrees outside. What are you going to do with your goats?
Oh.
Never mind.
We need
I haven't thought this through. See, thank you. Now you're defending the Geek Gumshoe, and I have a better understanding of why I don't need goats at this point.
No, you just need an extra room for them.
There you go.
Mm.
I've
Yeah.
seen people do that for their dogs, and that bothered me. I was like, seriously, I love my dogs as much as I can. I love my dogs, but I'm not building additions onto my house just for the dogs. And the first time I heard that, it was kind of like, are you freaking nuts?
My sister-in-law's cat has her own room.
Oh my gosh.
I understand if you have like an indoor pet that requires a lot of I think Kelly has rabbits, and her rabbits have a space. I think I don't know if they're in her basement, but they're in a space that's really just dedicated to them, is what I understand. And because of the size of the hutch and stuff like that, and where they live, I can kind of understand that. But a room for my no. It's like the only reason that I would ever consider my dog getting another room is because he likes to take over my pillow. So there's that. So, and he farts really bad. So it's awful. Yeah. I have Walter the farting dog. That's not his name, but
His name's not Walter, or not the farting part.
No, his name's not Walter. His name is Babo Taco. So it's Babo the farting dog. So we do have a topic. Did everybody? Okay. Do we have a topic? Yes, we're actually talking about Halloween, and I have a couple of questions that we can kind of throw out round table if everybody would. Willow, do you have questions as well, or am I just the only one who pre-preps like an idiot?
If you have questions, go right ahead and ask them.
Okay. And this is just for anybody and everybody. Feel free to jump in and share. But so we're talking really about Halloween memories. And I know that we're like in the last probably 20 minutes of our show, but let's go ahead and chat about that. So what is your earliest childhood Halloween memory? Anyone?
So
Wow.
I grew up in a very unconventional situation where my but I love costumes because of my mom. Um, and I remember her. I remember being introduced to Elvira at a very young age of 5 or 6. And she was trying to do my makeup one time as Elvira, and she got me like a black bodysuit and so yeah, I remember going as Elvira at the age of 5 for some kind of Halloween dance.
That's kind of
That's
amazing.
I don't mean to take over, but one of my earliest memories, I grew up in the 70s when every kid wore the PVC vinyl costumes and the really, really cheap masks. And that had such an effect on me. Whenever I smell that smell, I'm instantly taken back to the earliest Halloween memory that I can remember is smelling that vinyl. And whenever I smell that smell, that's immediately where my mind goes to.
I'm actually kind of the same way. I remember not only going out and shopping for this because, I'm a child of the 70s as well. And so I was used to, it's like your parents would take you out and they would take you to whatever your local store was. I think in the South, ours was Kmart. There was also TG&Y, which is no longer in existence. I'm like really showing my age at this point. But you'd go to the store and they had these just shelves of all of these pre-boxed, generally Ben Cooper or Collegeville, and you would go in and you would pick out which one you want. Of course, you got the mask. You can't. And Mom would hide them because if you started trying to wear them early, they were so messed up by the time Halloween rolled around because the mask cracked really, really bad.
Oh yeah.
But that same smell, that it's like the everything about it, from the way that the cellophane inside the box sounded to the smell of the costume, the smell, and then you're putting this little like plastic Mackie type outfit on that ties in the back, and you're walking around like this, and it was so. And I always wanted like handmade. My neighbors' kids or the kids in next door always had like handmade costumes, and that's what I wanted. And they weren't like handmade, like creating cosplays. They were just like, here's some jeans and let's stuff some straw in it. Now you're a scarecrow. But that smell, they never fit on the face. But that is one of those distinct memories that I absolutely just love. And I look for those when I'm vintage shopping now. That is something I look for constantly. And I have a list of the ones that I'm interested in. By the way, don't know if you're aware of this, but it wasn't one of the ones that was boxed. It came on one of those cardboard hangers, but there was an Elvira one.
Oh, interesting. I remember getting the Barbie one. So yeah, I don't know. I doubt it survived the 80s.
Oh my goodness.
Sawyer, do you have any fun memories?
So, me and my mom had the tradition of, after going trick-or-treating, we would cuddle up in our costumes still, eat candy and watch horror movies. And that was always just my favorite activity to do with my mom anyways, was sit down and watch movies. Yeah, we'll do that this Halloween.
Wait,
buddy.
we did that last time.
But so that's just the fun of like going out and having a nice night and then coming home and having the ever living snot scared out of me while eating candy is just it's such a fond memory. And this is going to be the first Halloween without my mom. So it's a little bittersweet, doing some of the traditions that we used to do now with my kiddo, with her not being here anymore. But
she never came.
She lives with us through our spirits, so it'll be fantastic.
A lot of times I do.
All right, Aubrey, what's your childhood memory?
Okay, I don't know about earliest. I heard the earliest, and I was like, I don't know about that one. But I think my most fun that I had when I was a kid was always like, okay, maybe because I'm a photographer at heart, I'm always a little bit of a voyeur. My favorite part about every Halloween was watching how much fun people had in their costumes. Like,
Mhm.
I loved dressing up and the idea that you could be anybody. You could be a hobo. I mean, everybody remembers them burning the ends of the cork, from and putting it on your face, like and
Yep.
what it trying to wipe it off afterwards. And then getting to try on the outfit for death for the first time and put the hood on and feel as it covers your face, and all of a sudden you're big and mysterious. And it's not just me. Like, I'm one of those people. People find it hard to believe, but I love seeing people in their element and enjoying themselves and feeling themselves, like feeling like not like they have to be a different person, but they can step into a different part of themselves. They can become something that makes them feel chipper or spooky or intense. One of my favorite things growing up, because I had, come and go household. I didn't come from a classic, parents are always home, you're always with the same parents atmosphere either. A little lot different than Willow did, but because of that, I got to experience, different sides of the country, Massachusetts and Georgia. I got to experience what different places did. And so some people, up north, there was a big thing with all of the sidewalks. Everybody walked the sidewalks with their parents, and they got to go to the houses. Well, in the South, there's a lot less sidewalks. As Southern people know, we don't have as many
Yep.
sidewalks. There's not as many parents walking on the sidewalks with their kids, holding hands. So in those areas, when you have like dust or dirt roads or whatever, it's like you get in the truck, you ride a little way,
Mhm.
then you come out of your costume and you're like, it's the South and it's hot and I'm in black, but I'm gonna go to the next house in my little bag, and everybody's checking their bag like, oh, I don't like this, oh, you can take that. No, I don't want that. You can take that. Would you like mine? I don't eat these very often. Like, this was a season for sharing and giving and being, and I will always find it my favorite holiday. I will always, to the day I die, find the idea of both spooking and treating people and being whoever you want to be one of the most wonderful things that a holiday could bring to the whole world. So, from me to everyone else here and anyone else who's never taken the time or the effort, go put on a costume this year. Even if you only wear it a little, just become somebody else, even if it's just a part of you never show anyone else. Just for a little while, even if it's in your own home, even if you don't want to go out and you want to keep a mask on, still enjoy it, because that is what makes this season wonderful. It's for all of us.
Well, I think that
Absolutely.
also it kind of kickstarted for a lot of us the love of cosplay. Aubrey, are you a
Mhm.
cosplayer? Okay, so everybody on this panel are active cosplayers, and I think it is. And most of us started out not necessarily, or I didn't start out with, your traditional like superhero costumes. My
Mhm.
first true build was probably a superhero costume. However, my original go to were always things like Morticia and Elvira and Vampira,
Mhm.
and those were Bride of Frankenstein. So a lot of those were the things that I gravitated to, not only for Halloween based costuming, but also for cosplay. And at that time, I didn't even realize that horror cons were a thing. And so it's like, then you discover that and you're like, oh my God, these are my people. And they're
Yep.
a lot creepier than I am. And I love this. Another overlapping thing that I've heard, and I'm curious. So most people, when I talk to them about, I consider Halloween to be more of my family holiday, even over things like Christmas and Thanksgiving. And I'm hearing this kind of universally throughout this panel as well. Would you consider that when you're looking at Christmas and Thanksgiving, or Yule and Thanksgiving, or whatever your holiday of choice is, when you are celebrating those holidays, do you find that Halloween has a tendency to be a bit more family oriented?
It,
Mine used to be. I've had many, uh, we'll just call them evolutions through my family over the past few years. And
Yes.
mine used to be. That was always a big thing for me because, I mean, if we're being honest, I've always enjoyed Halloween more than Christmas. And when I had I have two daughters, and growing up, that was my thing that I looked forward to was taking them out and going trick or treating, getting them, getting them dressed up, getting dressed up with them, and that was the thing that I always enjoyed doing. And for a time, I was with someone that had four children, and I got into it even more then, and so much did a Wreck-It Ralph cosplay because one of the kids was a 8-year-old boy, and I got dressed up as Wreck-It Ralph, and he was Fix It Felix. So we went out and we had a blast. It was great, and that was the thing. It was more enjoyable for me for Halloween instead of all the stress and anxiety that goes with Christmas. So everybody's like, Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. They're like, shut up. Let's have more Halloween.
I'm with you, John, on that. Like, Christmas time for me has always been stressful and anxiety ridden because of growing up in foster care. It was just like I always wanted to be with my biological family and remembering all the fun times we had at family gatherings and all the food and stuff like that. And but when it came to Halloween, it was, a chance for me to dress up in whatever I wanted and be whoever, be the character that I loved the most at that time. So yeah, Halloween, it seemed like it was the less stressor of the holidays.
And those of us who have significant others probably even understand more so than that, because if you've been married, if you or currently married, or you are involved with somebody that you share family holidays with, Christmas and Thanksgiving specifically, there's so much. It's not just the prep work to get everything involved, but it's we're going to this house and we're having to plan all of this out. You spend so much time on the road going to people's houses that a lot of times you might only get an hour or two at that house before you have to pack up and go somewhere else. And it's just, to me, those are not family events. Those are just constantly up and moving. So I always preferred Halloween because it was always one of those things where we would go over to my parents' house. We would trick or treat even as adults with my children as they were grown or as they grew up. And then now even with my grands, when they come over, we go over to my mom's house and we trick or treat that neighborhood, which is probably like one of the best places to go, period. But it was not uncommon for like my dad to get out and walk with us when he was still with us. And so it was really a lot more of a family oriented event for us. And that's what it was like growing up too. So,
yeah. And
I have to say, being married now and having my significant other being like full on Christmas fanatic. Halloween is a family thing for me. Christmas is a family thing for him. But we also got married on Christmas Eve. So that brings a whole new importance for us to the Christmas season. So we really show both, we give family things to both holidays. And now that we've moved out to Oregon, there's no going and seeing my family like it was before.
Understand.
And then his family, when we lived in Tennessee, his family was in Oregon. So there wasn't, it was like we defaulted to just spending it with my family. And now that we're here, we defaulted to just spending it with his family. So I'm really glad that there's not the whole we've got to see everybody driving around. It's kind of stressful.
Willow, how are we doing on time, by the way?
We have about 2 minutes left, but the show has been known to go a little bit longer.
We've gone till 10 o'clock and we're like, oops. You know what? We were having fun. So what does that matter? As long as we're talking to our audience. By the way, hi, everybody. We'd love to hear your childhood stories about your favorite Halloween. We really want to know what's in your box today. We really want to know what your new loot is. Oh, there's Dave. What's Dave saying?
My favorite holiday.
Talk like a pirate.
My favorite is Talk Like a Pirate Day. Not a big fan of Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's funny. So Canada actually celebrates our Christmas in October. This weekend is actually our Thanksgiving.
Whoa. What? Wait. No. Everybody pause. Tell us about this foreign country, Canada, over in the La La Land that we don't know. What do you mean? Did somebody? Okay.
What's going on in the land of
you
Canadians?
You guys celebrate Thanksgiving in the middle of the week, which blows my mind. In November,
Right?
Today off.
Right.
And then we celebrate Thanksgiving Sunday and Monday in October. So yeah, oddly enough, people I still have to work Monday, which a lot of people are like, but it's a holiday. It's like, well, it's technically not really considered a holiday. Like everybody celebrates Thanksgiving on the Sunday, whereas Monday is more of a wake up from your food coma day.
wait. So it's Happy Thanksgiving, Willow?
Oh, happy Thanksgiving. What?
Yeah. It's Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving weekend. We have 2 holidays in October.
Well, happy Thanksgiving before Halloween.
For Halloween.
Oh my gosh, my brain. Okay. Well,
This
so
does
what
not
are you doing
compute.
for your holiday? What are you doing for your holiday?
Well, I'm going to see my husband's family.
Oh,
So we get to spend time with nieces and nephews and the other in-laws. So yeah, it'll be fun. It's a good cooking holiday. So I don't know. I know you guys tend to celebrate Thanksgiving more so with football.
No.
Not our family.
No.
Not our family.
I don't think there's anyone in this group that's really into football much.
No.
Neither.
Wait, D, what?
No, I
What?
like football.
Oh,
I worked in athletics for about 20 years.
What?
So
you like football? D,
yes, I like
D,
football.
Have you ever done a spooky cheerleader?
No, because I'm not a big fan of cheerleaders.
I'd
There
be
is
a
a
big fan
difference.
of you as a cheerleader.
There is a difference. Well, okay. Well, all right. No, I worked in athletics for about 20 years, and so I kind of have spent like a lot of time around stadiums and in the area. John and I are in Memphis, and here it's basketball kind of reigns, I guess is a good way to put it. However, football is always been a lot more fun to just go and participate. From Friday night football, with your high school teams and stuff like that, to collegiate football. I've never really done the professional. I think I've been to one professional game, but I just collegiate environment was always a lot more fun. So, but
Cool little detail we found out there.
yeah, I don't watch it on TV though. Don't get me wrong. It's like if you're going to go watch it, you're going to go
Football
sit in
is
the
so
stands.
much better live.
Or sweet. Sorry.
I think that's where my agoraphobia comes from, is because I spent so much time in crowds growing up. I'm kind of annoyed and tired of them, so I tend to be more introverted when it comes to doing events like that, especially sports. And I'm one of those people. I was an athlete growing up. I played many different sports, but these days, if there's nothing on TV but sports, I'm literally turning the TV off. Unless it's hockey. I love hockey. I don't know what it is about. I always have more respect for hockey because you're skating, you're enduring, you're fighting, and occasionally the puck goes in the net. So it's all good for me.
It's brutal. It's brutal to watch. I mean, football is brutal to watch, and I think that's probably why you enjoy watching something like that live. Because I mean, when you can hear the contact, that makes the world a difference. I know that sounds awful, but it's you hear those hits and you're like, oh my. But
that's the whole reason NASCAR has so many fans, is that everybody wants to see the crashes. They like the races, but they want to see the crashes more than anything. I guarantee.
Agreed.
So that's why I'm a wrestling girl. That's my sport.
That's right. That's right.
Give me WWE. Give me people beating each other up. I know, that's my thing. We watch every single wrestling thing that we can in this household. It's the more contact, I love it. And like WWE just like got bought out by a company and they were like, no more blood on TV. Every single episode since they've been bought out has had blood in it. And I was like,
wait,
Gotta
wait,
love
Friends,
what
I
is
think
that?
we're
What is that in?
I think we're failing at this like one task that they gave you.
I feel like
One
the whole they're trying
Wait a
to prove that
It's
that
like,
wrestling
that's-
is fake, but the powers that be is like, no, we're gonna show it that it's real.
yeah. Well, my husband had a massive injury where he like tore his bicep muscle
Oh.
off during a
Off?
wrestling match. So yeah, it came like
Wow.
off the bone. He had to have surgery. It was a gnarly injury. So I'm like,
Wow.
Ew. That
and
sounds
it wasn't
awful.
it wasn't anybody's like fault. He just let go of the ropes at a time that
Oh,
was a little too late and overextended, and accidents happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm curious because I know that you actually kind of lived pretty close to us at one point. Didn't you live like in the Tennessee area, Sawyer?
Yeah, I lived in Columbia.
Okay. Were you a
That's where I
fan?
live.
Are you at all familiar with Memphis wrestling?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Actually, Dave Milliken, who is like a really big belt maker for a lot of the wrestlings, he's actually like a really close friend of ours. It's awesome. And going to his house is like a museum of like Memphis wrestling because he has multiple crowns and robes from Lawler. Like he's like really close with Lawler.
Oh, that's amazing.
We have done shows with Bill. Oh
Dundee.
my gosh, yes. Have
I
done
have a-
many shows with him. He's a character. I loved seeing him every time. But yes, I love all of our Memphis guys. They're so amazing. And
Wasn't Dundee Australian?
he lives in
Wrong
Memphis,
Dundee.
though.
Wrong Dundee. You're thinking Crocodile.
Well, no.
Crocodile.
There was a guy here in local who was a wrestler, and he had a foreign accent. I couldn't remember if he was British or Australian, and I thought it was Bill Dundee, and that would have gone along with the whole Dundee shtick if that was an act. But I thought we had a guy that was British or Australian, short guy too. I have to look that one up. I'll look that one up. But
Bill used to ride around in like a big like Cadillac that you could not you couldn't mistake. Like it was him. He was, I don't know if he still does it in his older age, but he was the most flashiest.
Oh, yeah.
Like you would know that he was around all the time. It was crazy.
the one I always got a kick out of was the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Oh boy. Oh yeah.
I've met him. He is one of the nicest people
Yeah.
I've ever met in my life. And it was funny because the show that we did with him, he did like a Q&A beforehand, and he kept plugging like his bar in
Sounds about right.
oh my gosh. In Panama City Beach, like just kept on. By the time we ended the show, I was like, I guess we need to take a Florida trip just to see what this bar's like.
Absolutely.
Because he would not stop talking about it.
So I Googled. Bill Dundee was actually Scottish. I'm sorry, Scottish born Australian.
Okay.
So there you go.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Kind of amazing.
Awesome.
I actually have a photo of me with Bill Dundee. Somebody, I think Dave mentioned his second favorite holiday was Talk Like a Pirate Day. And I was doing an event. I used to be part of the local pirate crew. Actually, I used to be part of a local pirate band. And there is a photograph of me in full pirate attire with Bill Dundee. And I think I don't think he's looking at my face.
Oh, of course not. No.
Yeah.
He's 5'7".
No, friend.
So, you know.
Yeah. Well, there's that too. But you know,
the very first convention I went to, he was there, and I had like spicy photos, but less spicy than normal, right? And I swear the whole time he was there talking to us, he didn't look at me and my husband. He was just staring at boobs on the
Wow.
table. Like, that was it. And I was like, do you want a photo? Like, do you want to take one with you? Because you sure are staring at him quite a bit.
Please post Dave's comment. Please share that. That's awesome. Thank you, Dave.
All right.
Absolutely.
I'm getting cut off at the bottom. What does it say?
Dell really brings the pirate booty.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's fair.
To be fair, I have to stand up for my gender. Guys, we get a bad rap because it's jealousy. It really is. We don't have them as much, so we don't get to look at them as often. So that's one of the reasons that we have to. But in pure honesty, I'll admit it's rude. It is bad, and I specifically, I if you don't mind, I want to tell a anecdote. I had a friend who was extremely well endowed, very pretty, sweetest lady I ever met. She went and had surgery to have reductions, and I'm not. That's not my draw of attention. And she went and had surgery, and she said, "So what do you think?" I said, "About what?" She said, "About my boobs." And I said, "What about them?" She says, "I had them reduced." I said, "I'm sorry, I didn't notice to begin with. I just knew they were still there." And she got offended. And I thought, wait a minute, you're offended that I didn't stare at your chest? Like, I'm okay. I'm confused.
Okay, on the flip side of that, as a woman who has not as well endowed as some of my friends, but I do have some endowment there. But I mean, with Lauren, it's like it's like I look flat chested standing next to Lauren, just to be quite honest with you.
Okay. Wait a second. Willow. Wait, this way.
She's covered up
Sawyer.
today, but
they are still there. Trust me, they don't stop growing.
They're not going to go anywhere. Thank goodness.
Yeah, mine's hiding under Evil Dead too. So
there you go.
But envy does exist.
Well, but here's the thing: if you are a female and you're going out in public and you realize that your top is cut down to your belly button, I know that some of my con attire is less than family friendly. So I know that some of them are very low cut, and I walked up to people. Oddly enough, it was a Deadpool character, and it's like I'm talking to him, and he kept, and he's like, I am so
on character.
Well, and he was like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, you know what? If I didn't want that attention, they wouldn't be out. So just quite honest with you, women who complain, in my opinion, and I'm going to probably take heat over this. If you're complaining that somebody is staring at your chest, don't put it out.
There you go.
Because I'm going to stare at it.
Okay, so it's not so much the staring that I have an issue.
Say sorry for that. They're pretty.
There you go. I am a full-on admirer. So yes, I agree completely. What were you going to say, Willow? Well,
it's not so much the staring that I have a problem with. It's the weird comments that I get from guys
now that's
that are
inappropriate.
Yeah. I'm with you, Willow. The comments are, I'm like, did we have to say that?
Okay, so Willow, I feel like if we think about it in terms of visual Tourette's, I have a lot of neurodivergent people that are my friends. I have people on the spectrum. And sometimes if we can't say something about what we're feeling, we say something anyway. So sometimes you'll get if you hear me say, you have a lovely outfit, I think your outfit is lovely. If I say, you have a lovely shirt, I'm looking at your boobs. And I am sorry, and I can't figure out a better way to say boobies. I mean, Jesus, you get a nice rack, and I'm not allowed to do anything about it. But thank you for showing me.
But if I do it, I'm a misogynist. So, where's the line? It's always confusing as to where the line is.
I don't know.
I kind of disagree with that. I mean, I think that we have a tendency to pinpoint those who say it that we want to say it. It's perfectly fine with. It's just also kind of depends on the nature of the comment and the
Yes.
way
Yes.
that it is portrayed.
Mhm.
Just from previous experience, I don't ever want to be motorboated with a monkey puppet ever again. So I mean,
Well, I always remember there was a
Wait,
movie.
Wait, what? No,
yeah.
no. What?
There's a
No,
story
we
that
gotta-
we
we
need
gotta
to.
pause. We gotta-
Nope.
Okay.
There's not.
Okay.
There's no story.
So
It's pretty
years
much what it
ago,
sounds like.
Anne Hesh and Harrison Ford did a movie together. Anne Hesh was wearing tops with no bra, and Harrison Ford makes a comment and says, "You know, you dress like that to draw attention." And she comes back with, "I do this so that people or men will look at me. I just don't want you to look at me." And that has always stuck in my head. It's like, do you want me to look at you, or do you just want other people to look at you? And that's just where my brain goes whenever I see someone showing off their wares. I'll put it that way.
I look at it this way: if I run across somebody who is showing off their wares, I'm going to walk up and I'm going to comment and I'm going to say, "You look very nice today," and I'm going to keep on going because they know. Trust me, as a woman that does that, we know. How do you not know when you're getting up in the
some of us don't
morning
mind the
and
compliments, though, right?
you're go-
We will say
going,
that, right, ladies?
It's one thing
Is that too much?
to say a compliment. It's totally another thing to state the obvious that the person has boobs.
That's true. That's true. It's not like they just all of a sudden became.
Well, there's that. Yeah.
Wow, I had no idea when I put this on today.
Well, I mean, the conversation kind of.
Well, okay. I will comment this. The ladies on my show have attended. They are, as I have mentioned, they are very well endowed, and there have been times that we have everybody distracted because somebody did something, and it's usually associated with boobs. There's a episode that we were talking about something, and Magda just kind of starts adjusting, and all of a sudden we're like, "Are we on?" It's like I think finally Lauren just blurts out, she's like, "Magda." So, but it's just, I mean, we understand it's distracting. Okay.
It is extremely distracting, especially, but you know, on the other side of that, Donna and I had an experience that I have to share because this just popped in my head. When we went to Texas Frightmare, there was a guy who was cosplaying as Buffalo Bill, and
Yep.
and I mean, this guy was 100% looked the part, like he just stepped off the set of Silence of the Lambs.
In the kimono.
In the kimono and and you want to talk about distracting in a very disturbing way. And he was dancing, and that was even a little more disturbing. So
we all got pictures with him.
We do have pictures, yes. But I can kind of relate in a way when men are doing that and that kind of distraction, kind of how women feel when they're being objectified. So I try to look at it in many different facets as best I can, but I also try to be respectful. And I think that's one thing that a lot of jerks out there don't. I mean, men and women alike, they aren't respectful. And when somebody has the features, whether they be small or large, you want to be respectful. At least that's the way I was raised. But there are people out there that don't give a crap. They'll just say whatever they want, and they don't care how they affect somebody. And I think those are the people that ruin it for everybody else.
But those are also the people who will walk up to you after a good example. I have someone that I know who basically just got all of his hair cut off. And he said that he saw a friend of his that he hadn't seen in like 6 months. And the first thing out of his friend's mouth was not, "Hello, how are you doing?" It's like, "You look better with long hair."
Oh,
I'm like, you're a jerk. You're an absolute jerk. But I think it is the people who have that interaction that sometimes don't think before speaking when addressing women or men to be respectful, and sometimes don't have that filter and just want to state the obvious. And sometimes when I encounter people like that, I also have to ask myself, is this somebody who might be on the spectrum? Because I do have several friends who have kids and grown kids even that are on the spectrum, and they don't always know how to interact with somebody that they might see in public that might not look they might not look like somebody. I don't want to say like everybody else, because that's not the case, because everybody looks different, but has certain features, certain elements of the way that they look that catch their attention. And I think a lot of times they'll comment on it because they like it, but they just don't have they are not sure how to address it. They're not sure what to say. Oh, look at your dog. So,
I mean, I have done like the whole. My husband every so often will shave his beard and his mustache off, and I think he looks incredibly sexy with a goatee. And there was one time where he just threw me off. I came home from work, and he's all, "What do you think?" I'm like, "No."
I get the same. I had the same reaction.
I do the same thing, Willow. The same thing.
You shave your goatee and people tell you to grow it back?
Yep. I'm telling you, I can grow a really nice mustache if I want to.
Yeah.
I feel like with our partners, it's really like those safety nets of, that was not the nicest thing to say. Well, sometimes we just need to be blunt with each other. I too have a partner at not a life partner, we're not married or anything, but my partner does shave, and I would not mince words if he came out of that bathroom with something. Yeah, there you go. I would maybe would growl instead to not say bad words, but it might be a
No thanks.
I don't think I would look great bald. My sister looks gorgeous. She has this beautiful red. I think she looks immaculate, just as gorgeous with or without her hair. I think if I came out of the bathroom with a shaved head and said, "Honey, how do you like my shaved Connor?" he would go, "No."
Well, and you also take into consideration, I put enough faith and enough trust in my spouse that if I were to walk out and he's looking at me going, I'm going to listen to what he says, because he's not going to want me to walk out the door and not feel and look my best if I'm going somewhere. I mean, and he makes comments sometimes. He's like, "Have you looked at the back?" And that's usually an indicator your ass looks like the size of a barn in that outfit. But no, I'm just kidding. No. He's
wait. Who hates a big butt? What?
There you go.
Okay. Oh, sorry, but sorry. I know it's always me. I'm used to my crew. We are a little bit on the rude side. Always.
We love your crew. We love your
Did you crack open the bottle? Are we drinking from the bottle yet?
Not yet. It's still not lunch.
It's lunch somewhere.
Lunch.
It's brunch.
There you go.
Well, if somebody would bring mimosas.
Oh. I think you brought up a good point. It's like if Mr. Gumshoe ever shaved his face, I mean, how would you feel about that? Because he's got quite the healthy beard.
He does. So he worked in an environment for years that he could not have facial hair. And so I got used to seeing him without facial hair. He somewhere in that process was doing a stint at another location and was allowed to have the goatee for about 5 years, and grew the beard and mustache and stuff. And he really liked it and really loved it. Honestly, I like it too. So I don't. It's not so much that I don't like it when he shaves it off. It's just that it's very different after you see something like that for so long, and then somebody shaves. It's like seeing somebody with very, very long hair, and then you come in and they've got a pixie cut. It's shocking. And sometimes it's hard to adjust mentally to seeing that. My youngest child went from being having very long hair to having a mohawk. And the rest of it was short, and she had like extremely short hair. She's had mohawks, but it was very shocking when she came out initially, and the first thing out of my mouth, I'm like, "Ooh, that's going to take some getting used to." And I'm like, "Oh, that probably wasn't the nicest thing for me to say," because she looked amazing, and she still looks amazing wearing those type of styles. But it was just when you're used to seeing somebody with hair down almost to their waist, and then all of a sudden it's like up to here in a mohawk, it's just very shocking. And it's the same principle with Mr. Gumshoe shaving his beard. Honestly, John, if you were to shave your beard and I were to your beard and mustache, it would probably throw me for a loop because I'm used to seeing you like this. So, yeah.
The last time I tried, I got told never do that again. I was like, oh, okay. From my daughters. Okay.
Fair.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because my husband says that I'm oblivious and don't pay attention to too many details. He washed our car. Like, we have a 66 Dodge Coronet. And this thing is beautiful. So there was one day where he picked me up from work and he's all, so what do you think? I'm just like, what do I think of what? He's all, well, I washed the car. I'm like, oh.
Okay, so
I didn't notice that the little bit of dust that was on it was that much of a big deal.
Oh, so I have to say this. Like, not only can you be like offended by people, but also technology can offend you. So we went to go get our Oregon driver's license, right? My husband has had an Oregon driver's license back in like 20 plus years ago. He had to have an override for his driver's license photo because the camera did not recognize him after 20 plus years because of just the amount of facial hair and the aging that has happened. He was like, 2 people have to sign off on my new photo because it doesn't recognize me. I was like, oh, wow, that the camera just disrespected you in a major way, sir.
So you're saying if you had like facial recognition on a phone and you took a 20-year-old picture versus a current picture, it wouldn't work?
It probably wouldn't work. Because it sure did not recognize him.
Wow.
What's amazing is talking about the whole facial recognition thing. My phone opens for my youngest daughter.
I was gonna say, I've seen photos of your youngest daughter, and she does look a lot like you.
They both actually do. My oldest daughter, she looks a lot like, but it's like it's extreme versions of me on either end. It's like my oldest daughter is 5'8", 5'9", and my youngest daughter is, if she's 5 foot, she says she's she's pocket size. She is kidnappable size.
My stepdaughter is the same way, DL. Same way for my stepdaughter.
I know. She's like the fun size candy bar, and my oldest child is not. She is tall. And it's like, I love when they go together, that go places together, because a lot of times people don't look at them and say, oh, those are sisters. It's like they have no idea where this works in together. And then now all of my oldest child's friends look like me. I'm serious. I'm dead serious. It's like, she keeps showing me pictures of her friends, and she's like, here's another one of your kids. Here's another one of your kids. And I'm like, why do all of your friends look like me? This is weird.
Wow.
But, yeah. So, but anyway.
Stroke the ego. Stroke the ego.
So I have, sorry. So I have one question pertaining to the spooky season. Bringing this a little bit back. No. Is that is that so I don't know about all of you. I know that we started cosplaying, all of us, when we were younger, when we finally got to dress up in our spooky season costumes, from everything ranging from plastic costumes that fall apart overnight, or in a couple of days crack and dissolve and somehow smell like gasoline, to putting all sorts of raggedy clothes on and pretending we're a scarecrow. So everything in between, all of the fancy and non-fancy costumes we could possibly get our hands on. But for me, I don't know about for you guys, and I would like to know, and from the audience also, like for me, I had a huge gap in mine. I went from dressing up and being the age that was appropriate to go trick-or-treating. And then I fell into a very awkward neurodivergent ADHD state. And then I became a young adult, and I was a teen mom. And so I really didn't get to do a lot of junior high, high school of spooky things. I did go to 2 Halloween parties, and that fueled the fire for years, just memories of it. But then I didn't start cosplaying until I was 30. So I'm way kind of behind the like everybody else. Like there's like, 12-year-olds that are yay for you. And then secretly my little girl inside is like, I wish I could have done that, so early. But so I'm playing catch up. I started my tattoos, I started my cosplay very, very late in life. And my divorce. So all of that is past. So I recreated myself into who I guess my little girl version wishes I could be. But I do not have a lot of experience as you do, Dee, and others do in cosplay. And so my curiosity was, I started about 30 years old, just delving into sewing and costumes and the costume life. And I also did Vampire the Masquerade, which very much fueled that. I was an official member of White Wolf for a little while. I paid my dues. I went to a vampire ball. I was excited, and that's what I really delved back into cosplay. And I'd like to know, at what age did you restart, or did you ever stop doing cosplay?
I'll jump on this because honestly, you and I have a similar story. I actually did not start pinup modeling or cosplay until I was closer to 40 years old.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was right around there with you too. I had my first marriage, and then after that divorce when I was 28 is when I got back into everything. Found myself again.
And also, I think that when you hit a certain age bracket and your children, or now, of course, I did have my girls are 10 years apart. So when I started cosplaying, it was more of a group activity. So it's like when we would cosplay, I would build things for myself, but we would also do builds for like my youngest child and my oldest child. So we would kind of go, and of course, when we first stepped into the world of cosplay, it was a little bit different because mine was probably a bit more elaborate than what my children were doing, just because I knew there was a lot of growing room still with those. So where I hand built a gladiator version of Wonder Woman out of pleather. My oldest child was wearing a basically it's a Halloween costume dress that was Captain America, or I think it's supposed to be American Dream, but we built her a shield. And so there were aspects of it that we built, but I knew that there was going to be a little more room for that. But it's just more so, I think, expendable income for me at that point. I had the ability to do that. But yeah, I also at that time kind of had completely reinvented myself after having dealt with a lot of health issues and stuff. And pretty much became a completely different person. If you would have seen me prior to that, you probably wouldn't have recognized me.
What about you, John?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just spaced completely. What was the question again? Yeah. I spaced because my biggest thing was encouragement and support. And my first marriage, there was very little of that, and that was always something that bothered me, because one of the biggest things when I finally when I got my head around doing one thing, I actually wanted to pursue it. It was actually putting together the Ghostbuster costume. And it was even before I got to be part of the DeSoto County Ghostbusters. I wanted to have a Ghostbuster costume. I wanted to go full on flight suit, proton pack. I wanted the proton pack to have sound effects. I was working on programming an Arduino to play the sound effects through the pack. And I had no support. And that was the biggest thing. Whenever I wanted to do something, and there was no involvement. I used to do LARPing as well, and I tried bringing her into it, and she had no desire. She had no. I mean, she sat around looking bored the whole time we would do stuff, and it was one of those. And I'm not looking for sympathy, but it was just one of those situations where I had an interest, she had no interest, and there was no middle ground. But the biggest thing for me I got out of that was, if my children wanted to do something, especially with that, when it came to dressing up and putting costumes together, and I looked at it differently because of that experience. I wanted to be as supportive as I could. I wanted to push them as much as I can without saying, I didn't want to make it a murderous shove. I was just trying to gently push them into whatever it is they were interested in. So it was one of those life lessons that came about because of a bad situation. And it made me reevaluate how my motivation can be tuned to my children, and that way they don't have the experience like I did. My mom was actually, she was never, she was just kind of taken aback. She was very conservative and very, very, I mean, my parents were teenagers during the summer of love and never did drugs. That's how conservative they were. And my mom was always kind of, a little scared, I think, whenever I would come home and I'd want to do these things. Because when I was a teenager, I specifically remember I went out and bought the kits that you could get at Walmart, and I did a whole burnt face effect with a bulb that would pulse. And I went out Halloween one year. I remember going to a haunted house with this costume going, and people were like, "Hey, man, your makeup's better than ours. You should be in here with us." And I was like, that just made my day. So I had a great time. It was just one of those things that when you have somebody with almost any hobby, now granted, within reason, you just, if you don't have the support from the people around you, the people that matter, it doesn't matter how interested you are in something. It really makes a big difference, even if they're just a little bit like, hey, I want to give you this much. I mean, it's all I can spare, or it's all I can really get interested in because it doesn't interest me. But instead of turning away completely and saying, no, I don't care, that's really, it's disappointing and doesn't encourage it. And I think that's sad because we need more creativity like that.
Yeah.
Well, and it's interesting because if you have somebody who is supportive of what you do, even though they might not necessarily be at the same place you are, and ready to step into that world. For instance, I'm going to use cosplay because Geek Gumshoe has always accompanied me. We always laugh that he's pretty much been my handler. Here, hold this while I get a picture made. But over the last probably year to 2 years, he has actually started stepping into cosplay himself. He's found a couple of characters that he really does a good job embodying, and he has kind of dove headfirst into that and is doing an amazing job. So I think that he has seen not just myself, but myself and our friends and our kids, and the reaction that it gets, and the fact that people really like it. But for some people, having to explain your hobbies is a bit of a challenge, especially if you're working in an environment where you are like, I work in a highly, highly professional environment. So this aspect of, all of the things that I do after hours, it's like, they know I do some strange things. They just don't know the extent to what I do. Because it's like, I have to keep that extremely separate. And I think that's kind of been where he's been with this a lot too. It's like, they know that he goes out and he does photography work, and they know that he works with pinup models, but they don't know, that we're going into haunted houses and doing that. And we're going into, all of these different things. They don't know that his wife is some of them do, an active cosplayer and things like that. So there's elements of it that he's always kind of kept a bit more to himself, but always been super supportive. And now he's kind of in the middle of it too. So I'm excited about that.
My cosplay didn't really start going anywhere until 2009 when I found out that we had a Comic-Con for the first time. That was a shock to me. It's like I walk by our gaming store and I see a sign up that says that, William Shatner's coming to Comic-Con. I'm like, we have a Comic-Con? And then my first cosplay was the Black Cat from Spider-Man. More of a
cat today.
more of a dumbed down version of it, because I took the inspiration from a figurine that I had, and it looked like she was just wearing a tank top, had tight pants and gloves and boot covers. So I'm just like, that's the costume.
Okay, I'm just going to say kudos for starting with something like that, because that is got to be the most intimidating type of character to pull off. It's like, I was okay with Wonder Woman. I could do that. That was fine. I've been okay. That Catwoman costume, though, good God Almighty, it took like a year and a half for me to actually put that on, much less decide that I was going to go out in public in it. And now that I've done it, I'm like, I can't wait to wear that again. Oh my God, it's so much fun. Other than the fact that there's just sweat pouring off of everything and it doesn't breathe at all. But it is a highly, highly intimidating cosplay to put on. So starting with Black Cat, kudos. Oh,
I imagine, like, if I were to do like anything leather, I'd be like Ross from Friends, stuck in the bathroom trying to figure out how to put the pants back on.
Don't forget the talcum powder. Got to have the talcum powder.
That's to get it on. Causes cancer. So Sawyer, what about you?
Well, like I said, I started at 28, right after I gave birth to my son. My first marriage left me with some, issues. And so after having my son and realizing, like, what my body could do, and I just like produced this amazing little human, I started feeling a lot more comfortable within myself. So I did, the first one that I did was my gender bend pinup Joker.
Oh.
And it's got quite a bit of like little like buzz, and it was really nice. And he's still like one of my favorites. But having the support from my husband really like was the main factor. He was like, if you want to do it, do it. And I was like, are you sure? Are we sure about this? Because that'd be really fun. But yeah, having him by my side and having him to bounce ideas off of really helped me, because I am like an overthinker. So I'm like, I don't know. But DL, we were just talking about your Catwoman, because I was showing my husband, he didn't know who Lauren was. So I was showing him some of her photos. And I was like, my penguin, like, and her penguin and your Catwoman, like, need to get together.
That needs to be a thing. Totally needs to be a thing.
I was like, this needs to happen. As like when I can get back in Tennessee, this needs to happen.
Oh, definitely.
Let me know. I have a poison ivy that I keep in the box.
Ooh.
I understand, John. You need to step away.
Yes.
Yes.
I do want to say thank you very much, ladies. You are all beautiful, and I really appreciate getting to be a part of this.
Thank you.
I will be. I mean, if ever you need another talking head, I'd be more than happy to drop by. And I want to just say thank you to all the people that are participating as well. Quick plug: the DeSoto County Ghostbusters will be, if you're in the area, Cedar Hill Farms every weekend in October. And if you haven't been out there, definitely come and check it out. It's south of Hernando. And it's a wonderful time. We will have Ecto 17. That's our vehicle.
Ooh.
It is up and going. It is all nice and bright and shiny. And we are raising money for all of our charities. We are an official 501c3. So we do actually do things officially. We are a real group, not just a bunch of people getting together and dressing up. So if you want to look us up, we're on Facebook. I am DJ Vu Memphis on Facebook as well. If ever anybody needs a competent DJ who's been doing 20 years DJing work, I am happily to talk about it. And again, thank you, ladies. Hope
thank
you
you
have
for
a good
joining
day.
us.
Thank you, John, for joining us.
Thanks, John.
Thank
See
you,
y'all.
John.
Bye-bye.
I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
No, I think it's kind of getting to the we're pushing 2 hours, and I am getting licks from my child who's evidently awake. So I'm assuming, yeah, she's come out of the cave. So, but
mine stays in his cave. It's okay. I come out. He comes out. We give him food. He goes back in.
I know. Just throw things at him until he, But
all right, So to close things up here, if you guys like the show and you feel generous enough to donate to the show to help us get better technology, please buymeacoffee.com /cerealboxpod. Help us out with any of the fun financial things that we do to make the show a success. Johnny will be back with us next week. He is doing all kinds of fun things. Make sure you guys help support Johnny with his ghost hunts as well. Nightlyspirits.com. Promo code JohnP667. You guys will have a fun time. I guarantee.
Is he doing pub crawls and stuff with like? I know he's doing like a haunted history tour, walking thing. Is that like pub crawls? Because I noticed that the ghosty has a beer.
I think so. That's a good question.
Ghosty looks like he's having fun.
I know.
I know.
I need to hook up, right? That's what I was going to say.
Oh, and Johnny is a great storyteller. So if you haven't had the opportunity to do that tour, I have not had the opportunity to do the tour, but I have heard him. I've been on the show enough with him, and I've heard him talk and share that I know that he is a phenomenal storyteller. So,
and he has a show coming the 14th too.
That's right. That's right. It's the haunted one.
Oh no, sorry, he doesn't have a video. He doesn't have a screen shot for that. But the show is also brought to you by Tales of the Deckoverse series, John's comic book series. So you can get that from Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and contact him for more details on how to get your hands on the set of comics. You guys, it was a fun show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, DL, for coming in pretty much last minute.
Anytime.
And bringing your friends.
So Sawyer, if people want to find you and stalk you like I do, where can they find you?
So Instagram and Facebook, Sawyer Saintson on both. That's my two that I'm on the most. Thinking about making a TikTok. I'll let you know if that happens.
Ooh, please do.
TikTok is actually pretty fun.
My stepdaughter. That's okay. My stepdaughter's like, you need to do
TikTok.
Like,
I'm on
you need to do
it. They're a lot of fun. I jump in on Lauren's quite a bit. So, so Aubrey, I'm sorry. I know that you're part of our network, but where else can people find you that might be interested in stalking you like myself?
You can find me on Instagram right there. I post reels all the time. I also do tarot readings and I do face painting and photography. So if anybody ever needs me, I am also located in Columbia, Tennessee. So if anybody needs a cosplayer, I also do costume dress up as Merida, Poison Ivy, and many more, including my favorite. I carry around my Scooby-Doo and I dress up as Daphne now, since I grew up my hair. It was lovely to have you guys on here.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You guys are welcome to join us anytime. And even if you want to talk about creepy things like cryptids.
Yes, please feel free to reach out.
So you guys can find me all over social media. I am Will Schuyler. I do host Cryptid Crunch, but DL's on this weekend. I'm sorry.
I am.
This is her day, her weekend.
As mentioned earlier, we do have sister shows that are on opposing Sundays. So I hate to say opposing shows because we're not really opposing. We're a pretty good complement for one another. So Willow Show Cryptid Crunch talks a lot about cryptids and other creepy things, whereas Ice Cream Queens is myself, Lauren, and Magda, and we come and we talk about anything that is horror related. We sometimes talk about true crime. We also talk about goth lifestyle, music, you name it. If it's dark pop culture, we kind of lean into that. Sawyer has been on with us before, as in absolutely amazing. But we do have an episode coming up tomorrow night that Geek Gumshoe will be joining with us. He's kind of taking over. Lauren is going to be out, so it's going to be myself and Magda, hopefully. And Magda has been dealing with some personal things lately, so we're not 100% sure that she'll be there, but I'm sure she'll let me know. But Gumshoe will be stepping in and sharing a little bit about doing creepy things in the woods, because dad budget prepper, and also sharing some true crime with us and just how to survive in general. So please join us and jump in and share in the conversation, because it'll be fun. He's always a lot of information, a lot of fun to talk to. But yes, you can find me on Ice Cream Queens on every other second and fourth Sundays. Occasionally on the fifth Sundays, if we have a after hour or after dark. What is it called? After dark? God, I can't even remember. Okay, after dark. Sometimes we're on that, but also you can find me on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm on TikTok on occasion. But DL Memphis, but my TikTok is DL is mildly psychotic. So there's that.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sorry I didn't get too much into the comments, but I appreciate every single one of you for joining us this morning.
Thank you. We love you and we thank you.
Please tune into our other shows.
And with that, we are going to say pleasant screams. I don't usually have people woo behind it.
That was great.